The answer isn't in luck, timing, or talent. It's in what you choose to do in those first sacred moments after you wake up, because your mornings don't just set the tone for your day. They shape the direction of your entire life. Every thought you allow, every action you take, every second you give away in the morning is either building your power or draining it. You can't control everything that happens during the day, but you can control how you begin it. And that beginning determines who you become. When you wake up and instantly scroll through your phone, when you move from sleep straight into noise, you hand over your peace before the day even begins. You train your mind to react, not to create. You teach your spirit that other people's lives are more important than your own. But when you start your morning with intention, with stillness, with gratitude, with movement, with a deep breath, you take your power back. You remind your mind who's in control. You send a signal to your subconscious that you are ready to lead your life, not follow it. That's how transformation begins, not with massive complicated changes, but with quiet, consistent rituals that rewire your thinking, reshape your energy, and realign your focus. Your mind is a powerful machine. Every morning it waits for your first command. It listens closely to what you feed it. Chaos or clarity, fear or purpose, reaction or control. The first 10 minutes of your day are not random. They're programming time. You're writing code into your own brain. If you choose doubt, you'll live in hesitation. If you choose focus, you'll move with direction. If you choose gratitude, you'll attract more reasons to be grateful. That's not magic. It's psychology. What you practice repeatedly becomes what your mind believes. Most people never realize how much power they waste by rushing through the morning. They wake up already behind, already anxious, already disconnected from themselves. They move through routines like robots, unaware that their mind is being shaped in silence. But you are not here to repeat that cycle. You are here to break it, to reclaim your mornings, to rewire the patterns that have kept you stuck in stress, fear, and self-doubt. This is your reminder that the way you start your day is the way you start your life. Those first moments belong to you. They are sacred ground where peace is built, where strength is born, where clarity returns. If you've ever felt lost, unfocused, or overwhelmed, know this. It doesn't take a miracle to change your life. It takes a morning. One morning practiced with purpose. One morning lived with awareness. One morning where you decide that your energy, your mindset, and your peace are no longer negotiable. Stay here, because what you're about to learn isn't just about routines or habits. It's about rewiring your mind for power, focus, and inner freedom. If you stay until the end, you'll understand how to take back control of your mornings. And in doing so, reclaim control of your life. The first breath you take in the morning is a message to your mind. It tells your body, I am alive. I am present. I am in control. Yet most people rush past it, unaware of its power. They wake up and immediately fill their mind with noise, emails, messages, notifications, the chaos of the world. And in doing so, they forget that peace was already available within them. The mind, when left untrained, clings to distraction. It seeks stimulation before stillness. But when you reclaim those first moments and fill them with intention, you begin to rewire your brain for focus, clarity, and strength. Your morning isn't just a routine, it's a reset. It's where you clear out the mental clutter that yesterday left behind. It's where you tell your mind what kind of energy you want to carry into your day. When you rise and immediately reach for your phone, you let the world set your emotional tone. But when you rise and breathe, when you pause, when you simply sit in silence and remember your purpose, you take command. You step into your day with awareness, not anxiety. You stop being a reactor and become a creator. Your brain thrives on repetition. It learns through consistent action. You can meditate and still feel empty if you don't connect with your intention. The goal is not perfection, it's presence. It's not about doing what others do, it's about aligning with what your soul needs. Some mornings will feel powerful, others will feel messy. But every morning is progress if you choose awareness over autopilot. Remember, the world moves fast. Distractions will always compete for your attention. But your peace, your focus, your growth begins before the world even wakes up. It begins in the quiet, when you choose to listen to yourself before you listen to the noise. That silence is not empty. It's full of power, full of clarity, full of potential. When you master your mornings, you begin to master your mind. You no longer wake up reacting to life. You rise to design it. Every sunrise becomes a symbol of renewal, of strength, of another chance to lead your life with purpose. Because the truth is simple. Your mornings are not just about starting your day. They are about starting over, with peace, with focus, and with a mind trained to see the possibility in everything ahead. When you open your eyes each morning, your mind is at its most vulnerable and its most powerful. It's a blank page waiting for you to write the first sentence before the world floods in with its noise. You have a small window of complete control. That window is where the foundation of your mindset is built. In those first quiet moments, you decide who you are going to be today. You decide whether to live by fear or by focus, by distraction or by direction. The way you spend your first moments after waking up determines what your mind will believe for the rest of the day. Your mind does not resist repetition. It becomes it. Every time you repeat a behavior, your brain strengthens that pathway. If you wake up in a rush, your brain learns stress. If you wake up scrolling, your brain learns dependency. But if you wake up with gratitude, with calm, with movement, your brain learns discipline, it learns power, it learns peace. That is how you rewire yourself. Not through force, but through consistent alignment. Change doesn't come from one powerful morning. It comes from making that morning your new normal. Each morning gives you a chance to shift your energy. Most people think transformation requires a complete life overhaul. It doesn't. It requires awareness. It requires discipline in the smallest things, that glass of water before the coffee, that 2 minutes of silence before the noise, that decision to stand tall before you speak. These tiny choices compound into strength. They build emotional resilience. They create the mental stillness that allows you to face chaos without losing balance. The reason morning rituals work is simple. They bypass your excuses. They give you a structure that doesn't depend on motivation. Because motivation fades, but rituals endure. When you commit to a consistent morning pattern, you remove the question of should I and replace it with I will. You train your brain to act before it overthinks. You build momentum before your doubts have time to speak. That's what the most focused minds do. They start their day before their fears can catch up. Absolutely. Before I begin writing the full 7-section script, let's first make sure I clearly understand your intention for this project. You said, create a powerful and emotionally compelling script outline consisting of exactly 7 equally detailed sections for a faceless YouTube motivational video. Just to confirm before I proceed with the complete 7-section outline, each section 500 words, do you want 1, undetailed, detailed outline showing what each section will cover, the emotional purpose and how it builds the full narrative, a written script. Manner and set, the full written script, that is the actual motivational narration text, not just an outline, with each section 500 words written in the same powerful emotional tone. Once you confirm, I'll create the complete version immediately for morning rituals. Rewire your mind, reclaim intent, which would you like? The outline, tar, or the and full script? Have you ever wondered why some mornings feel heavy, while others make you feel unstoppable? Why some days begin with chaos and distraction, while others start with calm clarity and quiet power? That's why your morning rituals matter. They're not just habits, they're mental programming. Each small intentional act strengthens new neural pathways that lead to self-discipline and peace. The moment you choose to move your body, to hydrate, to express gratitude, or to visualize your goals, you're not just starting your day right. You're teaching your subconscious to expect success, to find calm in chaos, to see opportunity instead of limitation. The science is clear. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. Every morning that you practice presence, you train your brain to operate from a higher frequency of focus and positivity. Every morning that you feed your mind with positive input, powerful words, quiet reflection, meaningful thoughts, you raise your baseline for emotional strength, and soon you won't have to force yourself to be calm or confident. It will become automatic. It will become your nature. But the real power of a morning ritual isn't in the checklist. It's in the energy behind it. You can wake up early and still feel lost if your actions lack meaning. Your mornings are sacred space. They are the meeting point between who you've been and who you're becoming. Every action you take in that space tells your subconscious what to expect from you. If you begin with order, your mind mirrors that order. If you begin with gratitude, your heart expands to match it. If you begin with focus, your entire day follows your lead. The world cannot shake someone who begins each morning grounded in self-control. And when you build this pattern long enough, something incredible happens. You stop chasing control, you become it. The world can be loud, but you'll move through it calmly. Others may complain, but you'll respond with clarity, because the person who owns their morning owns their mind, and the person who owns their mind owns their life. So every morning, remind yourself, This is my reset. This is where I reclaim my energy. This is where I build my power before the world demands it from me. You are not just waking up to another day. You are awakening to a higher version of yourself, one that no longer reacts, no longer hesitates, no longer drifts through life waiting for purpose to appear. You are becoming the creator of your direction. Every morning, one choice at a time, one thought at a time, one breath at a time. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect in motion. Every morning you rise and choose structure over chaos. You're telling yourself that your life matters enough to be directed with purpose. The alarm you set isn't an enemy. It's a promise, a quiet agreement between who you are and who you're becoming. When you honor it, you build trust with yourself. And that trust is where real confidence begins. Confidence isn't built from external validation. It's built from the inner certainty that you keep your own word, that you do what you say you'll do, especially when no one's watching. Your mind studies your actions more than your words. It listens to how you live. When you break your commitments, it learns doubt. When you honor them, it learns strength. That's why consistency matters more than intensity. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up deliberately. You don't need to control every outcome, only your effort. Each morning that you rise with discipline, you're proving to yourself that you are stronger than the voice that tells you to wait, to rest, to delay. And with every act of consistency, your self-image evolves. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who commits. The mind thrives on identity. Once you see yourself as disciplined, your actions follow naturally. You no longer have to push yourself to wake up early or start your ritual. It becomes part of who you are. You begin to crave that clarity, that structure, that quiet moment where the world hasn't yet entered your mind. That's the gift of discipline. It creates peace. It doesn't restrict you. It frees you. It eliminates decision fatigue, removes mental clutter, and builds a rhythm your mind can rely on. And this rhythm becomes the foundation of focus. When your mornings follow a purpose-driven pattern, your brain knows what's coming. It stops resisting. It learns to transition from rest to readiness with ease. That shift from chaos to calm isn't magic. It's a result of predictable preparation. Your morning habits become the anchor that grounds you in stability, no matter what the day brings. And when challenges come, as they always do, you'll face them from a centered state rather than a reactive one. But discipline isn't built overnight. It's a gradual rewiring of your mental habits. Some mornings you'll resist it. Some mornings you'll feel the pull to go back to comfort. That's when you remind yourself why you started, not for perfection, but for power. You're not training your body. You're training your mind to obey your purpose, not your emotions. Every time you overcome the urge to delay, you weaken the old patterns that kept you stagnant. You show your subconscious that your decisions are stronger than your moods, and soon you'll realize something profound. Discipline doesn't take your freedom. It gives it back. It releases you from regret, from wasted time, from the weight of unfulfilled potential, because the person who controls their mornings controls their direction. You no longer wake up lost in distraction. You wake up with clarity, with peace, with drive. Each sunrise becomes a new contract, a moment to recommit to your highest self. You are no longer living by default. You are living by design. And that shift changes everything. There is a silence in the early hours that most people never hear. It's the space before the noise begins, before the world starts demanding pieces of your attention. That silence is where your true self waits. It's not in the rush, not in the scrolling, not in the endless noise. It's in the stillness you've been avoiding. When you step into that quiet each morning, you reconnect with a part of yourself that knows exactly who you are and what you're capable of. The world conditions you to chase, to compare, to perform, but your inner power is built in solitude. It's built when you stop running and allow yourself to feel, to breathe, to listen. Stillness is not weakness. It's a form of mastery. It's the pause between stimulus and reaction, the space where awareness lives. When you start your morning in silence, you train your mind to pause before it reacts. You teach yourself to respond from intention instead of emotion. The more you practice this, the more your emotional stability strengthens. You stop being controlled by the chaos around you because you've learned to create calm within you. The mind, once scattered, begins to obey the rhythm of your awareness. It stops fighting you and starts following you. This is what mental clarity feels like. Not the absence of thoughts, but the ability to choose which ones deserve your energy. When your morning begins with silence, you filter your focus. You separate what truly matters from what only distracts. You start the day grounded, not restless. The more often you create this mental space, the easier it becomes to recognize your patterns. You begin to see your fears for what they are, thoughts, not truths. You start to notice the mental noise that once controlled you, and awareness alone weakens its power. The world rewards speed, but real growth rewards depth. It's in those quiet, reflective moments where you begin to rebuild your relationship with yourself. When you give yourself permission to slow down, your energy rises. When you disconnect from external noise, your internal voice becomes louder, and that voice is your compass. It doesn't speak in fear or doubt. It reminds you of your strength, your purpose, your potential. It tells you that you don't need to prove your worth through constant motion. You only need to align with your truth and act from it. When you make silence a ritual, your mornings become sacred. The rush loses its grip. The anxiety loses its urgency. You stop moving through life out of habit and start moving through life with direction. In that stillness, you gain the clarity to see what truly needs your energy and what doesn't. You begin to prioritize peace over pressure, meaning over noise, alignment over approval. And from that calm foundation, your decisions transform. You no longer choose from fear. You choose from strength. You no longer chase validation. You move with certainty. Because once you've found stillness within, nothing outside can shake you. You understand that control doesn't come from dominating the world. It comes from mastering your mind. Each quiet morning becomes proof of your power. You begin your day not in reaction, but in creation. You stop being pulled by life's distractions and start being guided by your inner command. That is where transformation begins. In silence, where your true strength awakens. When you build your mornings around stillness and intention, something begins to shift deep within you. The noise that once controlled your focus starts to lose its power. The distractions that once seemed irresistible start to feel meaningless. This is where awareness transforms into alignment. You begin to feel a quiet authority over your own energy, a sense of ownership over your time and emotions. You stop waking up as a passenger in your own life and start rising as its creator. That single change from reaction to creation is what separates the drained from the driven, the lost from the focused, the scattered from the centered. Every morning becomes a mirror. It reflects back the state of your inner world. If your first thoughts are calm, your day unfolds with clarity. If your first actions are purposeful, your day moves with momentum. But when your first moments are chaotic, your energy fragments before the day even begins. This is why intentional mornings are so powerful. They align your inner world before you engage with the outer one. They help you meet the day from strength, not from survival. The science behind it is clear. Your brain operates on patterns, and your morning rituals form those patterns. When you consistently begin your day with focus and gratitude, you prime your mind to seek the same energy throughout the day. You teach your nervous system that peace is your default state, not stress. You train your thoughts to filter out noise and lock onto purpose. This is how mental rewiring happens, not through massive leaps, but through small, repeated acts of alignment. And alignment feels different from motivation. Motivation is loud and temporary. Alignment is quiet and unshakable. Motivation pushes you to act, but alignment pulls you forward effortlessly. When you start your morning from alignment with your values, your purpose, your peace, you no longer need to chase motivation. You simply move in flow with what feels right. Your mind becomes focused, your body energized, your emotions balanced. That balance is where true productivity is born, not from pressure, but from clarity. Many people think success starts with doing more, but it starts with becoming more aware. When you are aware of your patterns, you can reshape them. When you are aware of your distractions, you can remove them. Awareness turns reaction into choice. And every morning gives you that choice to continue with the same habits that drain you or to create new ones that build you. The moment you choose awareness over autopilot, your entire day changes. You feel lighter, more in control, more connected to what truly matters. Each intentional morning is an act of rebellion against mediocrity. It's you saying no to chaos and yes to clarity. It's you deciding that peace is not something you find by accident. It's something you build with discipline. The greatest freedom you'll ever experience comes when you stop being ruled by your emotions and start being led by your purpose. That freedom starts the moment you open your eyes and decide that your energy, your attention, and your peace are sacred. Because when you wake up in alignment, you move through life with direction. You speak with intention. You act with focus. You radiate calm confidence that others can feel. The world begins to respond differently to you, not because it changed, but because you did. You've rewired your mind to lead, to create, to rise above distraction, and from that state of alignment, you no longer chase mornings filled with meaning. You create them. Every single day becomes proof of the power that lives within you. When you live in alignment, your mornings stop feeling like a struggle and start feeling like a declaration. Each sunrise becomes a statement of intention, a moment where you reaffirm that you are not your past patterns, not your distractions, not your fears. You are awareness in motion. You are the quiet strength that chooses purpose over comfort. And in that space between waking and acting, you are writing the blueprint for the day ahead. That blueprint is shaped not by what you hope will happen, but by the energy you decide to embody. Your mind is always listening to you. It records every thought, every emotion, every action. When you speak defeat in the morning, your mind obeys. When you speak power, it responds with strength. This is why the way you think and speak in those first moments matter so deeply, because it becomes the filter through which you experience the rest of the day. Words are not harmless. They are commands. They shape your perception, and perception shapes your reality. So when you wake up and speak clarity, focus, gratitude, and power into existence, your mind organizes itself to find proof of them everywhere you go. Affirmations are not about repeating pretty sentences. They're about reprogramming your identity. The more you declare who you want to be, the more your mind aligns with that truth. Say, I am focused. Say, I am calm. Say, I am unstoppable. You are not pretending. You are reminding yourself of your potential. The brain doesn't argue with repetition. It believes it. It begins to reshape your beliefs, to strengthen your confidence, to make your desired identity feel natural instead of distant. The more you affirm with conviction, the faster your subconscious accepts it as reality. This is how internal transformation becomes external action. Once your thoughts align, your behavior follows. You start showing up differently, more deliberate, more resilient, more self-assured. The small things that used to trigger you no longer hold power. You become less reactive, more composed, more anchored, because you're no longer waking up in emotional survival mode. You're waking up in conscious creation mode. You're telling life, I lead today. Your morning voice becomes your inner guide. When it speaks with doubt, your confidence weakens. When it speaks with power, your potential expands. You cannot rise higher than the conversation you have with yourself every morning. So speak to yourself like someone worth believing in. Replace self-criticism with self-command. Replace hesitation with certainty. Replace fear with faith. The shift doesn't happen instantly, but it does happen inevitably, one intentional morning at a time. And as this practice deepens, you begin to notice something extraordinary. The external world starts to mirror your inner world. You attract opportunities that match your new frequency. You notice solutions faster, handle challenges calmer, and recover from setbacks quicker. You no longer wake up waiting for good days to happen. You wake up creating them. You understand that mornings are not just the beginning of time. They are the beginning of energy. Every thought, every word, every breath you choose at dawn sets the vibration for your entire day. So each morning before the noise begins, remind yourself, I am in control. I am capable. I am becoming the person I was meant to be. Speak it until your mind believes it. Live it until the world reflects it, because the power to rewire your life begins the moment you rewire your mornings. The most powerful mornings are built on movement, not just physical, but mental and emotional movement. When you move your body with intention, you awaken your energy. You release what's stagnant, what's heavy, what no longer belongs. Your physiology shifts your psychology. Each stretch, each breath, each step tells your mind, I am alive and I am ready. The body leads and the mind follows. That's why physical motion, no matter how simple, has the power to break mental inertia. Stillness of the body often mirrors stillness of spirit, but when you move, you remind yourself that progress is always possible, even in silence. The moment you rise and engage your body, you're sending a message to your brain that it's time to create momentum. This is more than exercise. It's activation. It's lighting the fire of clarity, confidence, and control. The blood that flows through your body carries energy to your mind. It fuels your focus, strengthens your mood, and raises your vibration. You don't need hours, you just need intention. 5 minutes of deliberate movement, done with awareness, can shift your entire state of being. You can't think your way into higher energy. You have to move your way into it. Your body is not separate from your mind. It's the vehicle of your willpower. The more you move with purpose, the more your discipline strengthens. The more you move despite resistance, the more your self-belief grows. You are teaching yourself that you can follow through. You are proving with every breath that you have control, and that control translates into every area of your life. It's not just about fitness. It's about mastering the art of showing up even when you don't feel like it. That consistency becomes your power. That rhythm becomes your momentum. Energy responds to direction when you direct your energy. Through movement, you take command of your emotional state. You shift from passive to active, from sluggish to alert, from uncertain to empowered. You begin to feel the weight of fear fall away as the rhythm of motion reminds you that you are not stuck. You are capable of forward movement. The body moves, the heart follows, and the mind aligns. This is not about perfection. It's about awakening the warrior within you each morning, even in the smallest way. This simple act of movement builds emotional resilience. When you push through discomfort, your mind learns to stay calm under pressure. When you move through resistance, your spirit remembers that it was built for progress. You start realizing that energy is not something you wait for. It's something you create, and that realization changes everything. Because once you understand that your state is your choice, you stop waiting for motivation to arrive. You start generating it. Each morning becomes a practice of power, aligning thought, movement, and breath into one clear message to your subconscious. I am here. I am ready. I am capable. The power you feel in those moments is not temporary. It's a reflection of your true potential. It's proof that beneath every doubt there is strength waiting to be awakened. You are not weak, you are simply unactivated. And when you begin your mornings by moving with purpose, you flip the switch. You light the fire. You remind your entire being that you are not meant to drag through life. You are meant to rise, to move, to create momentum that carries you forward into greatness.